Welcome, everybody. Come on in the room. We're going to get started. We're going to chit chat a little bit, but
And I want to
you
say
know, we,
hi to Elizabeth. I haven't seen Elizabeth in a while. Elizabeth, hi. It's great to see you. Marcia is new. I don't think I've seen Marcia before. Hi, Alpha. You and I will talk soon.
well, my internet says it's unstable. I don't understand, so I apologize if I'm going to look grainy.
Yep, I can hear you
Can you
just
see
fine.
me
So that's
okay?
great.
Can you see
Yep,
me
I
okay?
can
And
see
hear
you
me? Okay,
okay.
good.
Yep.
You see my head. That's important.
Yeah, that's important. That's important. So, yeah, so just so folks who know, and David felt he just got back from the summit as well. So I know he just got there. And I had just gotten to Norfolk, so I haven't quite made it home yet. But I dropped off Rachel Bittercoffer in Williamsburg and met her parents,
Did
who
you
were
really?
lovely. Yes, her mom made chocolate chip cookies and offered us cookies, and Mary took the cookies. I ate a cookie. They're delicious. It's probably the best chocolate chip cookie I've ever had. Other than my cranberry raisin, David Felt will understand that story. So they make the best cranberry raisin cookies.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, so why don't you just, so people that may not even know what you're talking about, why don't you set it up?
yeah. So we're leaving the Women's Summit, which was the 21st to the 23rd. And I gave Rachel Bittercoffer a ride to Williamsburg to go to visit her parents. And so, for those of you who have seen Rachel on MSN or in any news, that's how I first got wind of her. I used to watch her religiously. You can only imagine she was at the summit and the pleasure that I felt I got to have to drive with her in the car for 3 hours. So that's what I'm talking about. And it was fantastic.
And then it's
It was
about the Women's Summit.
hilarious.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. So it was fantastic. And so she says she goes to lots of summits, lots of kinds of events, and this was by far one of the best that she's ever been to. So when you say
Yeah.
she's a girlfriend of the show and really stands by us when you need someone to come in and pinch
Yes.
hit, she's like the best we can get and she's awesome.
I love it. So we've been doing, so welcome everybody and glad you're here for our Sunday sit down. We're so committed. Finelle's really said, we're still going to do it. I'm like, aren't we tired? I mean, we've been planning this summit, I guess, since January. And this is our Big 10, our 10th annual Women's Summit started in 2017 when we wanted to flip Virginia blue. When Trump got elected, we were like, what the hell? We got to do something. So we decided getting together was so important. It beats authoritarianism every time. We got to convene. So this was really exciting. And what was a funny moment was Kathy Tran, the delegate, when she flipped, she was one of the flippers that we actually got over the finish line, was there with her baby, and she became, you know, we put her on the folder, the baby, and we put the little ERA thing across her, and then Elise now is 10 years old, so that was a cool moment on the stage.
Wow. Well,
Let's talk about some
well,
moments. Hmm.
so Michelle Hornish just
Oh,
joined,
she did.
and Cheryl Golden. She said she loved the summit. So Cheryl Golden was at the summit, and she's here with us now on the Sunday Live. So Cheryl, thank you so much for being with us. And Michelle Hornish, hi Michelle. Got to meet Michelle Hornish in person for the first time, which is pretty awesome. But some already knew Michelle because Catherine, when you're not here, Michelle always is gracious
I'm
enough to
inviting her to
join
come
us
up.
here. So that's pretty awesome.
I'm
Oh,
inviting.
perfect. Perfect.
Mhm.
Perfect. Perfect. So wonderful.
There
She's
she
just
is.
coming. All right. So
Hello,
well,
everyone. Can you see
Hey,
me?
hi. And
There we are.
so you obviously just made it home.
I did. I literally walked in the door. I was sitting here eating honeydew melon in my kitchen, and I saw a little notification, Network Nova is going live, and I was like, "Oh, the ladies are already going up. I can't believe it. I made it home in time." So yes, all the way back from you all, a fantastic, fabulous, wonderful summit. I mean, I could not have asked for a more energizing, um, community building, confidence building time. It was tremendous. So I cannot wait for next year. How many days?
See,
When is it going to be scheduled?
I'm sure
right?
Catherine's like, yeah, next year. Not
I
really want
know.
to talk
I
about
know.
that right now because she did a fabulous job, just
It was
fabulous. And
incredible.
she has her
Well,
unicorn.
Yeah, I just want to
Your
show you my
shirt on.
unicorn. And Fennell wanted to do this thing on unicorns and have a unicorn club of women who are unicorns. And so when we were on the stage, this was really meaningful. I looked at her, I go, the unicorn. Yeah, we got to get these T-shirts for our unicorn. We're gonna send one to Michelle. But Michelle, what I really like because I really would love for people to just hear about maybe what you did and what you were teaching and why it was so important. Because I think these master classes was really cool, and then the think tanks. I didn't know how your think tank went. So can you talk about it?
So, I mean, that was such a unique way, I think, of doing some main stage speaking from some folks. I was privileged, honored, honestly, to be one of the people who was able to give that masterclass. Robert Hubble, myself, and Rachel Biddekofer. Everyone brought sort of their own energy and their own unique perspective to the different topics. I was talking about. Oh, sorry, I was repeating myself. I could hear myself somehow. Um, so I did motivation and momentum and, tried to tell a story from my own personal life and how getting through things myself was really kind of educational for me and taught me a lot about motivation and positivity and the power of doing something that you love in the context of a mission that you believe in deeply. So that was kind of my entire talk, and I talked about the fact that, this is something that Small Deeds Done folks have not yet heard, but will hear, this week. In 2023, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that's not a story that I had told prior to the summit. And so I went through a significant amount of treatment. So if folks wondered if I was a little bit quieter in 2023 after an amazing, 2022 cycle, that would be why. We
Yeah.
were a little bit quieter, but we were still just as powerful. And it was a growing experience. It was a learning experience. It was a very humbling experience. But I was able to bring, I hope, was my hope, that I was able to bring a lot of the lessons that I personally learned to the stage so that I could share that, so that at least there could be some benefit from that experience.
Yeah. So I want to tell you one thing, and I think I talked about this at the salon on Saturday night. So one of the things that was really important was how people understand things and how putting things in small pieces sometimes can help you move forward. That you can't just start from 0 and think that you're gonna get to 60. But I loved when you talked about the study where they gave the kids the math tests and the quizzes to study,
Yeah.
and some of them got 42 pages, and they had to do it to see how well they did, and then some got 6 pages and more time to do it, and the ones who got 6 pages did infinitely better than the ones who got 42 pages. And so I thought about that in terms of the way we think about this work, that sometimes there may be this time when you have those 42 pages, and you know what? There may be some people who are capable of carrying the load for the 42 pages.
Right.
But then there are people who need to get stuff done right now. And I think about that as the 6 pages. And so when we were describing it, I said, maybe Andrea and Catherine are the 42 pages, but I'm 6 pages. And so this is the way I sort of see it and think about it. I got to go at it at a little different pace than they do to get to this goal, which may be much smaller, but hopefully I have success at it while they carry the load and carry the intellect at this 42-page level. So I love
Right.
that. And I think people can think about it in ways that help themselves.
I hope so. I mean, I was really moved by that study as well, because I think that we all fall into that trap of only looking at the end goal. And I'm a runner, and so whenever I've studied for marathons, whenever I've trained for marathons, sometimes you'll get to the end of a run and you're sort of out of juice, and you just have to look for the next tree. That's kind of the 6 pages, right? Like, I run to the next tree, and then at that tree, you run to the next tree, and then at that tree, you run
Hmm.
to the next tree. Sometimes people can run the full 10 miles or their full, 13 or whatever's on their schedule that day, but sometimes you have to break things down a little bit. And I think that as activists, sometimes we forget. Sometimes we have to break it down, right? Like, it's not always going to be the flip. We're not always going to get the bill passed, but we make progress. And we focus on the progress that we made, the win that we got, and not what we didn't do. So it's not that you didn't finish the 42 pages, it's that you actually finished 5 sets of 6 pages, right? It's a different way of looking at it, I think, that might help people not get so demoralized if they don't see as much flipping progress, especially in red states where I work almost exclusively. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think too is interesting when we think about the whole agenda and the weekend and that all the different speakers. And Finale always says to me, you need to, she always wants me to have, so we'll talk about, I want you to open summit. I want you to talk about everything you know when she listens to me. You need to have the talk. And I said to
Yeah.
her, this whole program is my speech. It is my talk. It's a orchestra of a thing of put together, a thread of what we think is really important, right? And it's interesting because the different speakers bring such different perspective. And I feel like elected people talk really different than activists on the stage. Don't you think? Like, they're a different vibe when you hear from the candidates who are elected, and then you hear from kind of people on the ground like ourselves, like Robert and you and Rachel. And I think that people in the audience, I got a lot of feedback being over here with Lori Ecker and some of the teams still here. People said to me in the hallway, they just learned so much. They were so inspired. And I felt like when we talked about Leah Greenberg being there and Alyssa Fetter, they're both organizers and mobilizers, that we're really building a movement. And I think what we're doing by just really investing this way and creating leaders, that's what we need to do right now. We need to have an army of leaders in this time right now. So serious, right? We can't just spend our time being angry, posting shit. We really have to sort of start training people because it's pretty serious what's happening. And another weird thing that happened at the summit I thought was really interesting is, I don't know if you know about this because I think you left by this time, but we had a candidate come in the room and actually get into the venue who was running against Eugene Vidman. It's an independent candidate, right? It's an independent candidate that is a woman who's running against Vidman as an independent. And we didn't really realize at first. She got in, she had this kind of couple people with her. She put all her literature at the table, and Finale's like, hell no, get her. I said, so we ended up
An
collecting all her stuff.
interloper.
Well, this was very interesting because she's from this Afghanistan community, and she's running, and she's a woman, and she's running as an independent. And I really asked her, and I said, you weren't here all weekend. We're mission focused. I said, if you run, we could lose, and we're no. She's like, I'm a woman, and we're gonna. I go, no, you will. This will kill women. We at this point, yeah, I'm mad about some things about this candidate, this elected guy, whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. Rachel said to us, and I believe it, and this is what we are thinking. We need to be mission focused on winning to protect people.
Right.
It's that serious. We're in serious. We can't mess around. And this really riled everybody up in the whole place because they started looking at it, and we're like, and everybody listened. We can't mess around. And this woman, and so we got a lot of work to do down there to see what's going on. We think a Republican is funding this woman.
I see. Okay.
But if we lose that seat, we lose the power to protect ourselves.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, you're right that this isn't something to mess around with. This is, we heard from speaker after speaker the importance of this election. That this is I'm forgetting, unfortunately,
Yeah, I
it's been
see
a long
Laura Mack.
travel day.
Laura Mack.
I'm forgetting his name. But he said today, this is a vote for survival.
Yes.
And that was such a
Antoine.
Thank you. That was such a powerful moment when he said that. I thought that actually is a really wonderful way of framing this for people. We've all heard this is the most consequential election in our lifetime. Truly, that is the case, right? But this is an election about survival, and this is a vote for people's survival, and we need to take it that seriously. And I think that all of the programming this weekend was all about that. I mean, it was about community, it was about joy, and about having fun with one another and making flower crowns, which I still love my flower crowns.
I always brought mine. Yeah.
But it also was about how serious this is, and that we can have both, right? We need community so that we can work with one another, and we have to have the glitter in life, as I like to say.
Yeah. Yeah. This is one of the things that the privilege of riding home with Rachel Bittercoffer, we had a chance to talk about a whole lot more stuff. And I really wanted to talk about the Democratic brand. when people say, "I don't vote red or blue," that whole conversation. But what I was saying to her is, what is it that people think it's a brand when they rate us and say, "Oh, Republicans are at 28 and Democrats are at, 26 or whatever." And I said, "I'm a Democrat." And I said to a person, "If you were to look at me and the things that I try to do from a 1 to 10, would you rate me a 2? Would you rate me a 3?" So at the end of the day, you don't know who the big C is. You just the people who are around you. And so, what she said is she's right. You can go to a lot of podcasts, and some of them that we know, and all they do as Democrats themselves is poo-poo on the party every single day. Here's why I'm not going to vote for a Democrat. If you don't
Right.
do these 5 things, I'm not going to vote for you. And blah, 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 blah. And as many podcasts as we have, and we try to
Mhm.
uplift our party and uplift the work we do, you can find 5 that I could name, but I won't, who every single day, they're not beating up Republicans, they're beating up Democrats. Here's why I won't vote for you, because you didn't support this, or she didn't support that, or she said this, or she said that. Instead, if you understood how important this moment is, if you understood, as
Right.
Antoine said, that this is a vote for our life, then what
Right.
is
It's
it
a
that
vote
you
for
think is so
survival,
much
right?
more important? Yeah, if there's so much more
Mhm.
important of this one thing that you're willing to
Right.
give all of it up for this one thing that you are. It sounds like a Republican on abortion. I'm just saying.
Right. You don't hear Republicans talk like that, right? So I agree. And I think the media, when they say about the racehorse, they just like to talk about stuff. They go back and they drag all this socialism stuff up because they had nothing else to do. The reason why Trump won is a lot because of the media. They didn't the way they handled it or didn't handle it or decided to play with democracy. And then they all lost their jobs eventually. And now,
Right.
run, so it's like, yeah, it is crazy. But I thought Antoine's message coming from the South and the Southern vote and the idea that how they're trying to obviously suppress the Black vote. We see this. I tell you what, that breaking the table panel with Krista Jones
That was
and with
great.
Jessica Bergs with Heather Booth. That was so emotional with Heather Booth as one of that organizing at the heart with love. But this woman, her whole life, a movement builder. That table with Krista, Melanie Campbell, and April Turner from Higher Heights, talk about table. That was a good and it was a really gift.
Hey, Catherine, something's happened to your audio.
Something happened to your audio, Catherine.
That's because my husband's calling me.
Oh, getting another call. Technology.
Go ahead.
There we go.
Anyway,
Okay,
so
sorry.
so anyway, I
Sorry,
was
my husband.
so
He's like, where the hell are you? I've been gone all weekend. Go ahead. Sorry,
okay, so you were talking about the panel with Candy
Krista. Yeah, it was
Munden.
great.
Yeah, that whole panel was really great. It was which is really interesting, Catherine, because we have always talked about this, that we should never say DEI, that we should always call it diversity, inclusion, equity, and accessibility. And so I think that that's really important, because when someone says, "Oh, DEI," I'll bet you most of them have no idea what it means. And
Looks like
so
CRT.
yeah, so just like CRT. And this is what I loved about Rachel is, she's telling us for I don't know how many times she needs to tell us that we have to call people out, that we do not let them have the
Oh
last
yes.
word. And we do not
Mhm.
fight on their terms. We fight on our terms. And I think if and name the monsters, you names, because if I hear one more person say to me, my opponent, well, we don't want to give them any air. No, you need to give them air so that people understand who these monsters are. Say what
And she
they
said
are
to
doing.
add their name to Trump, right? To go
Yeah.
ahead and
And add
say,
their name.
Yeah.
put those 2 names together now that he's underwater by so much. I
You
thought
have
too
to
that some
tell
of
right.
her really,
Mhm.
really powerful advice was, if you're in a red district, use red signs. Use red signs. Have,
Mhm.
Democrats for the middle class, Republicans for the Epstein class. Fascinating,
That's
That's a
right.
right?
great,
Like, I
fascinating.
wouldn't have, putting that juxtaposition right next to one another so that it's not just we're saying what we're for, we're saying what they have been doing, and we're making that contrast really,
Yes.
really clear. Make it crystal, and I thought that was really great advice.
Well, let me ask you a
Yes,
question. Do you
because
saw the signs? You saw the signs there, right, Michelle?
I
Now, let
did. I
me ask
loved
you
them.
another question. Are you willing to run some of those signs and to see how that really operates with you? Because I'm curious too. I think, I wonder, because I think it's pretty impactful and I love the simple messaging on those.
I
Do you
love
think
them.
you're
I
going to
think
do
they're
that?
great.
Are you going to put
I would
some up?
love to, who I would love to talk to about running like a study or something on that, is Kate Barr from the Can't Win
If she
Victory
ran as a
Fund.
Republican.
Because
Mhm.
yep,
Oh, yeah.
yep,
Yeah,
I'd
she
be
was
very
coming.
interested in that.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
So
you
there's
did
a
you talk to her?
Did
Did you
I?
talk to her at
She
the
was
summit?
great. Yes,
Because
I did.
she couldn't get there till later on Saturday, and then she and Kate Powell had that wonderful, talk downstairs in the amphitheater, and, there's a lot of things Fennell and I, we don't get to go to because 'cause we're doing different things. Talk about Kate Barr a little bit because people in the audience may not know.
Sure. So Kate Barr ran in, oh gosh, was it 2022, 22 or 24? And she ran for North Carolina State Senate, I believe. And she
Mhm.
says that, she lost her race when she filed. Because she is in a gerrymandered district. And so the whole reason that she was running was to draw attention to gerrymandering and how bad of a problem that is in North Carolina and, frankly, in many states that are, red states across the country. And so she ran in her race. Her whole branding was Kate Can't Win. And it was Kate Barr Can't
Mhm.
Win. You might have heard of her from that.
Yep, yep.
From that race and from that experience, she then launched the Can't Win Victory Fund, which is, kind of a cheeky sort of way of saying, that
Mhm.
they are helping people who are in some of the redder, more difficult places. Like I like to say with Every State Blues, some of the reddest, roughest, toughest places that you could run. These are the places where people can run for broke, right? I mean, in my view, this is the research and development arm of the Democratic Party. You want to find out whether or not something's going to work in a red district. These are the people that you want to go to, right? The folks that Every State Blue funds, the folks that Can Win Victory Fund finds and recruits and trains. And so I did listen to Kate Barr and Kate Powell downstairs in the amphitheater this morning, and they were fantastic.
How many
They were
people
wonderful.
was
It was
it
a
well
really
attended?
intimate setting. It was great. It was, but it was still very intimate. So I would say that there were more than a dozen total of us down there, which, I mean, I thought was pretty good for it being 8:30 in the morning. And we were at a PJ party last night. So, not too bad. Um,
Good.
So
you
Michaela
know,
joined. So Michaela Pond is on.
Hi,
Oh,
Michaela.
Michaela
Michaela
Pond,
is
let's
on.
talk about her. What a badass. Michaela. Okay, so Michaela Pond is the leader and founder of We Have Action. We Have fucking action. Women have fucking action. Boy, did she rock it.
Michaela,
She came in.
I have one of those. I I absolutely loved that presentation, and I have one of those pins. So I have multiple pins. I'm really excited to give them away.
When
Wonderful.
she came out with with the Princess Leia outfit on and slayed it. Oh my God. I love her. Just
And her
every
daughter, which
moment.
is awesome.
Oh, their daughter's gorgeous too, by the way. And but she rocked it. And just was amazing how she pulled off, she and Jen in the morning, that parade of power when we were on the stage with our boxing gloves. And we really talked about it. And I think we did a good job trying to get it to pull off. And when those doors opened and those frogs came in and everybody was around that room and those signs came on the stage and Tilly blending
Uh,
is amazing. And then Phyllis, everything and the resistance, the singing resistors, it really was amazing moment to deliver to people. And it was like, they were like, what? And that's what I wanted. I wanted people to be just in awe. When the drummers came out, the Batala drummers, I'm like, I wanted people to be in just and and then the drumming circle that Stair had put together with Kofi Annan, who's
yeah.
not Kofi Annan, that's a different Kofi. I was in trance. People were in a trance. They were just like they wanted. There is amazing. I just thought the whole thing was just incredible.
It was a really,
Yeah.
really
So
fantastic experience. And I can't thank
Yeah.
you all enough for inviting me and for allowing me to participate in it. And for everyone who's watching, if you do not go next year, you are missing out. You have got to go. so
You're putting
fun.
us on the spot, right? But okay, another thing, Denver Riggleman was and Michael Fanone was another thing. People gave me good feedback on the master classes. My sister loved Robert Hubble, and, and this loved the master classes. One thing, the feedback I got from my sister, and I always listen to my sister. She's like, um, said she would have liked to have some more table conversation, like during, and wasn't sure, like in any of the master classes. She said she really wanted to be at the table and have some of the interaction with her people there. And she thought that was the one thing she suggested to us to think about. And I said, I think there is some in the master class where people did do that. Is that correct?
Yeah, so, during
Yeah.
mine, I did 3 different activities where folks
That's
were
what I
supposed to,
thought.
do some things, but I think it was, it's always hard in an environment where everyone's at tables. Some people know their table mates and some people don't know their table mates.
And that's probably the point, right? I think that's what maybe we
Maybe.
should think about. Yeah.
But I I
Y
I really think that it was a really great idea to have people in this room together thinking about different
Yes.
ways to solve problems and doing activities that make you stretch yourself a little bit because we're all in this to learn something and to grow. And so
Yes.
asking people to grow with one another in real time was really special and very unique. I've never seen that done before, and I was really excited to be part of the pilot.
No, I
yeah,
agree,
so
and what I don't wanna be, let's maybe just finish real quick, is I think the think tanks were really important part of it, so we did build that in. The think tanks were all about that, where you got to really work together, which was awesome.
yeah, I went to all 3 of them. Wilhelmina is here. I'm just sort of chuckling at the folks who were at the summit, and they're just making it home just in time to get on tonight, and we're so happy and so grateful that you guys decided to be with us. And I just wanna say about the summit and what was so important is that we recognize this moment. And that's why when I think about it and I think about the master classes, it was just really this idea that folks would all be in the moment together, that folks would be able to be here to understand that with all the fun, with everything that was happening, we all needed to walk away stronger, more confident, more
Right.
joyful, and feeling like we were the David in the story of David and Goliath, that even though we may be the underdogs or the misfits and may not have all of the resources that we have, our slingshot is different. And the difference is what you got in those master classes is that we're giving you what you need to be able to go out and choose what you need to do. So that's what I hope people walked away with.
Let me say too, what I talked with Sharon Shuttler, who was in the data center one, and Ann Bennett. What a great, I mean, you scored with getting Ann Bennett in a masterclass think tank. And I think we've created something that we should really think about and step back from a second. Finale and I always talk about where's the think tanks for the Democratic Party. I think we just created several of them. And I do think if we're smart about it, and I know we're continuing the follow up, is this could actually be something bigger than we even imagine once it starts and they meet, that we've created now really strong working groups that can continue the legislation around these spaces. And I think when we're thinking about it, maybe that wasn't the overall goal, maybe it was, but I think it actually could be something kind of carried through the whole year into the next summit, into the next, I think this is something really important to have a think tank that is working on immigration that could always be called on or continue to solve problems. What is your thoughts on that, Fanel, when you think about what this could be?
Well, I think that it could be. I think when we have the meeting in September where we sort of go put this stuff in action, we'll see, because I do think it's all about having receipts. And so making sure that whatever the things are that we do, I mean, you don't have to measure everything because some stuff you just know in your gut. But
Relationships.
I do think
Mhm.
but I do exactly, but I also think that there should be some things in our pocket that we can measure, that we can say, "Here's what it was when we started, and here's what it is now." But I did wanna give another additional piece of information that I got. One of the things that I heard from people, they loved the piece with CJ, and the Pat and Chaplain, Terry. That was when we did the video. They loved the videos on Leaving Mag. They thought that they were really powerful. And so I wanted to point folks and us, our team, to the pause for 60 seconds. We didn't get to talk about that very long because I am a little disappointed about that because I do think it was an opportunity to really get folks to really do it. And I think we have a chance to do it on our Friday power lunch and some other ways. So the what CJ created was this idea of this documentary that she's doing, and it will have people who these women, which is really powerful. I mean, some of the stuff we talked about it long ago, Catherine. We watched some of the videos, and it's really powerful. And I think what the chaplain was saying to us is that when they leave, they have nowhere to go, and so having a place to go to say we bring you in, but we
Mm.
also have people in our own families. Well, mostly y'all in your families who may be MAGA or Trump voters, and those scripts that are in there are really done with love and compassion. And they can't interrupt you because it's a 60-second video that you send to them. But in those videos are also everything. Get out to vote, talk to your family, talk to people. It's all kinds of things. So I just think that we have an opportunity still to get folks to do those 60-second videos. And it does take a little bit of courage to do it. Even for me, it takes a little courage to actually do it and send it out to my family.
You hear me? I'm getting a phone call again.
Is that what's happening? We're
Yeah,
gonna
you
use
know why
Catherine's phone.
everybody's
I
She's too
heard a little bit of
popular.
feedback.
you
Well, everyone
mhm,
probably wants
it's
to
gonna
see you. I imagine with a conference like this that has kept all of you so incredibly busy. It's so well done and so packed full of information and joy and community that I can only imagine that you have been working 15, 16-hour days for weeks. So everyone probably wants
yes,
to
I
see
have been.
now.
Well, we're
So
my everybody calling is one, my husband, my girlfriend Carol Sue that was at the summit because she had so much fun. She sat there and made all those bouquet flower things. She just was rocking. I love my girlfriend Carol. She was
I
there
had to
with
give
all the Maryland girls. Yeah.
I had to give mine to my cousin Wilhelmina, and she wore it when she left today. And so I'm sure that no one will ever say it, but I don't know if people understand the amount of work that Catherine has done over the last few
Oh,
months on this summit, day and night, morning, noon, and night into the late of night. I'm just saying,
well, I'm not the
and
only
look how it
one. I
turned out.
know that.
I
Yeah,
know, but
and
I'm just saying.
I know I have a hard
Just
time accepting that kind, but I get it. Thank you. And it's what's great is to see when I went down everything, the room with the stitchery, the room with the crafts, the people I went by getting massage, and I'm like, why didn't I get that massage, a foot massage? I mean, everywhere I looked, it was so special, and I think the expo was also like that place was that could have been it. Like after Friday, Todd Thurwacker came up to me and goes, "You mean there's another day?"
well,
For
here's
real.
what
I
I
have
think
three
it's the
days.
yeah, I think it's the orchestration. So all the folks, so Catherine is the person, and then here's all of us. Robin also holds a big string because she
Oh, big
coordinated
string.
all of the
Mhm.
master classes, and then Laura Mack and Belle and everybody, all the volunteers.
Couldn't do it
It's
without
just a
anybody.
massive.
Mhm.
It's a massive
Massive.
undertaking. And,
Of
and look,
super
here
fucking
we are.
smart people, by the way. I'm gonna say to you that when people think about the grassroots women and all that, I don't know what, but these are expert people. Like, Bella's like, she's a badass. Think about her law background, her lawyering, what she's
I was
done,
going to say she's an attorney.
and like in Dennis, forcing her.
About
Yeah, yeah.
I say this about people in, the women that I've met in the resistance movement all the time. That right when I first started going years and years and years ago now to my then senator's office hours, the people that I was sitting next to were these professional women who were looking around and saying, "What can I do? How can I lend my expertise?" My experience, the things that I'm good at, what can I do? How can I lean in more? And those women have just found more and more ways to get in great trouble. And I am so happy to be right along with them. I mean,
Yeah.
what a wonderful way for us to stretch ourselves in this next season of life.
Yes, I love that. So, but now I'm gonna let you wrap up because my husband's calling because he hasn't seen me, and he's wondering where I am. I'm at Stair Calhoun's house and Lori Ecker's here. People are on the back deck. is Susan Kaufman's here. And I love this about the summit because it really, in the end, is about people and community, like you said, Michelle. And when we get together, it's the energy we need. And I think it's kind of like, when men talk about they go off to war and it's not the war, it's they're fighting for each other. And I think that's similar to our work when we show up for each other. We're tired, but we're in the trenches with each other, and you build this kind of connection. And this is why we're here. We're fighting for really survival. And I think if we're going to do it, we got to do it right and keep the joy and try to just that part at the center, like Heather Booth said, it has to come from the center of love, and that's how it should be. We don't always feel that way 100% all the time because sometimes the work is just like overwhelming or sad, but we have to be it. I'm so grateful, Michelle, you came all the way here from Missouri. Lori Ecker came all the way from Indiana. We had a group, and I love this part. Friends came from New Jersey, and they said, my girlfriend came with me this time, and she's hooked. Or like, we got you now.
Well, I already told
Yeah,
Jess
it was a
Piper, I
lot
was
of
like,
first timers.
next time Jess and I both have to come. That's what I said. I was like, Jess, next time both of us are coming. And she was like, oh my gosh, yes. So count us in.
We're on the hook. Okay, I'm going to say that it's 7:36, and I'm just feeling super good. And tomorrow, I think we'll take a little break, and then I think everything we learned, I think we need to sort of use this time to really figure it out. We have the midterms. We have to all these candidates in Virginia that are running and across the nation. Um, we really need to now it's time to get to work and apply all these things. So we're ready.
So are you saying that there's no 9 o'clock tomorrow morning?
I think we should say there's no 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
We
Go,
get no
leave it
Christmas
in.
breaks, I'm just telling you.
And guess what I'm going to
Catherine,
do?
what are you gonna
I'm
do?
going to wear my leopard PJs to bed.
There you go.
So you're
All right, guys.
sleeping in.
All right.
All right,
I'm
thank you,
Congratulations,
sleeping
ladies,
in.
on an
thank you,
amazing.
Michelle.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm on yeah. Hopefully I could figure out how to stop this on my phone because I can't see as well. But anyways, I'll see you guys. I'll get out of this somehow. Okay.
Good night, everybody. Thank you
Bye.
so much for
Good
doing
night,
it.
Good night.
Bye.
everybody. Bye-bye. Yeah, hang up on me because I'm having issues. Oh, okay, guys. What a nice time. I have to tell you how much I love Finale Norton and everybody in this room, from Laura Mack to Belle, just everybody that works together. Dennis Orsinger, Heidi Dragneff, she was so fun. She came up from Cova Coalition. Carrie came up, Carrie Short, and seeing all the candidates on the stage, and Tom Perriello, Beth Macy, Elaine Luria came all the way up. That was awesome, right? To see Elaine, who's running again. Denver Riggleman, who was sort of like a little nervous about coming up. He almost bagged on me, and I was like, you need to come, Denver. And he had so much fun. He ran out of books. He needed to sign more. Michael Fanone was so emotional. That was hard because his trauma is real. But that interview was so good. I could have talked to them all day. But the best part is just walking around, watching everybody just seeing each other and talking and laughing with it all. So I just wanted to thank everybody for all your support, the people that sponsored us, the people that bought tickets, the people that tolerated some of the stuff they had to do. And the hard work, especially Robin, especially Stair, especially Michelle McKinney, especially just everybody, Barbara Jones, Holly Hazard, everybody. But I'm just going to go to bed now if I can figure this all out. All right. Love you all. See you later. Bye. All right. This is hard to get off my phone. Bye. We did our live. This is the best part. We did it. Yeah, we did our live. Right. And the funny thing, we went live. We do our Sunday.
Yeah, I watched some when
And Laura Mack was on. Michaela Pond. People came on the live.
Yeah, oh good.
I mean,
You invited them in?
no, I meant they came to. After all that, how tired people are.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
After
Cool.
social life. Well, I was going to say to you, I was going to say,
You want to invite us in?
well,
No.
that would have been fun, right? Well, Michelle Hornich came in, so we went live with them. She showed up, and so this is funny. She just got home to Missouri,
Oh my God.
and then she came. She's on network.
Where's the little dog?
Right here. She saw the thing pop up. She was in the kitchen eating melon, and then it was just hysterical because Laura Mack came in. That